All right, then. Welcome everybody to the Product Intelligence Sync on the 30th or 31st of January, depending on where you are. This is new for us, being on 2 different days at once. We want to start, I think, today's sync again with the check-in process that we started last time. I'm just quickly gonna share my screen with the slides, if I can find them. Still need to get better at this, sorry. All right, so generally speaking, we can rotate who's first, but because we're doing it only the second time, I think it's the first time for Niko. I'm gonna go first again. I would go first through everyone who either has put their tech, like either is present or has put a text into the agenda, and then show the video of the ones who did a video last. And so I can do the first. All right, so my victories for last week were that I actually managed to finish up the Jitsu replacement proof of concept and show it into in the analytics sync today. So trying out if we can use Snowplow to replace Jitsu. I think we can now continue on going further with the investigation there. And I did my first MR to the actual code base, even if it's just kind of changing very tiny things and a few lines of code. It's a first for me, so that's cool. My impediments is that Snowplow isn't working on docs.gitlab.com. I need to kind of figure out why not. We added it there. And the priorities going into the week are then fixing any bugs that we have in the proof of concept, and also answering any questions and kind of going forwards on the road towards a decision when it comes to the proof of concept to replace Jitsu with Snowplow, if you want to go forward with this or not. All right, Sam, now it's you.
All right. Well, so victories for this week. I checked before this meeting and I don't have a timer running in the background, so no beeping this time. I also am getting set up in a new place that I'm going to be working out of instead of my old co-working space, so I'm excited for that. Last week, I also presented at the Product Direction Showcase about the analytics stage, which I think went over really well. Really good to socialize what we've done with product analytics, as well as point out resources for product intelligence. Priorities for the week. I'm planning on spending a lot of time looking more into the Snowplow topic to figure out what we want to do, either to stay with Jitsu or go with Snowplow, and a couple things around that. Also going to be working on some proposals around how we do the actual deployments and packaging for what our collector will become, as well as Cube and ClickHouse, and how that relates to pricing. No major impediments for the week.
Cool, thanks a lot, Sam. All right. So Michał isn't here today, but I can still vocalize for him. So Michał noted down that he got the unique active users monthly migration from Redis to Snowplow merged. I think we actually have to be a bit on the lookout on what effect that has on Snowplow. And the discussion that happened around non-user IDs in the migrations from Redis HLL to Snowplow. Then the impediment was still also going the same from last week, that there's a lot of product intelligence reviews because Michał and Piotr were alone with those. And the priority is the bug that we found, or the problem rather, that we found with some geo-related metrics that don't provide a SQL. These are database metrics, but they don't provide SQL, which kind of stops the automated service ping right now. And sorry. Okay, a lot of talking from me. Does someone else want to voice Piotr? Okay, I can do it. Right, the victories for Piotr are that he finally got the confirmation that the Lambda works fine. So for our snowplow pipeline to remove some geodata, so we can move forward with this. That took a long time, but we finally figured it out. Impediment is the same as Michał, that there was a lot of reviews that he had to do because of the limited capacity. And the priority, he fixed some SQL statements also for the automated service ping that he wants to get reviewed. And then there's another bug where we have missing metrics in some Redis, missing Redis metrics in some payloads from a specific customer, and he wants to get started on that one. Okay. So Mikola sent in a video. I actually didn't check beforehand how we can best play this during the session, so I would just urge everyone to kind of check it out later on asynchronously, and I can figure out until next time how we can best play this during the video and during the sync so that he's kind of part of it more. I'm really sorry, Mikola, that's on me now. Jonas, it's up to you.
Right. So I mostly worked on onboarding issues and back and forward on merge requests. So I got some of the reliability training completed, and I also moved into a new office because we have construction going on at home, so that's nice. A current impediment is related to both Michał and Piotr. I am waiting quite a long time on feedback on my single merge request, so I'm blocked quite a bit on that. Priorities for next week is to find another issue that is not about migrating service ping to snowplow, but something different. Maybe I also do one of the migrations, but I just want to see something a little bit different. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Jonas. So, Niko, I hope you had time to prepare something. Now it's on to you.
Oh, I didn't, guys. I didn't prepare anything because I just today's my first day. Yes, I just finished my holidays. Yeah, I just have 300 or 400 emails to go through, and that's my goal for today. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. I hope there's nothing bad in there, and you can get a good start today. All right.
Shoot.
I think that's it. We don't have anyone else in there. And we can actually move on to the topics of the sync itself. So I'm going to stop sharing now. Cool. Thanks a lot again, everyone, for your inputs. I'm just going to try to get rid of this slides and for bearing with me to finding the slides and everything. All right, I just have two small topics I wanted to share. Sorry for not putting more information into the agenda up front. That's my fault. So just so that everyone knows, kind of, because it was referenced quite a bit during the priorities, the state where we are with the automated service ping. So this is just as a reminder, we have to kind of, Piotr and Mikola currently are running the service ping manually every week on GitLab.com. The data team is trying to get this done automatically by just running the same SQL queries on a replica of our database inside the data warehouse. And so we are currently unfortunately blocked by the issues that Piotr and Michał are working on. So there were some metrics that have been discovered that just didn't provide any values in the automated service ping. And it turned out that this was because we didn't get normally our application provides a SQL, like let's the data team ask for the SQL query for a specific metric. And that SQL query gets then translated from PostgreSQL into the Snowflake dialect and executed. For those metric, there were either wrong SQL queries provided or none at all. Most of them were an easy fix, but two of them related to imported Jira projects are a bit more involved. So that's what Michał is working on. Where he currently is trying to figure out how we can turn this actually into an SQL query, because right now it's labeled as a database metric, but instead of actually being a database metric, it is it requests some data from the database, but then does some additional computing inside of Ruby, which cannot be replicated in the data warehouse at this point in time. So we need to figure out if we can translate this into actual SQL queries, because those two are apparently quite important metrics to the product team. So without those, we cannot move towards the automated service ping. Any questions towards that state?
Is that something I could help with somehow? I don't know what the kind of the scope and the how far along they are, but it seems
so
like
you can. Yeah, you can definitely check in. So the apologies that I didn't link the issue. I think Sam just posted them in.
That second one is the list of all the issues that there were with automated service ping, and that first link there is the one specifically about the Jira problems we're seeing. I believe all the other items in that second link have been resolved. It's just the Jira ones that are outstanding at this point.
Yeah. Feel free to have a look yourself, Jonas. I tried to kind of understand it myself, and it's not that hard to understand kind of what's happening there with those metrics. So I think it's definitely beneficial to check this out. And you can also reach out to Michał and ask him maybe to like take a look together on how to figure those out.
I'll offer my help tomorrow and see if it's yeah.
Even just tagging along, I think might be interesting, because these are a special case, and at least kind of checking into them. Also, I learned quite a bit about how these things are currently working.
Yeah, sounds good.
The other, or do we have any more questions around automated service ping? No, okay. So the other thing I put there, this is just a thought. So I don't know how much you are already aware of this, Jonas, but for any code that is related to product intelligence, if any kind of other team, mostly feature teams, if they, for example, instrumenting an event or something, the MR needs to go through product intelligence review. So one of our team needs to check the MR. That's what Piotr and Michał referenced as being kind of an impediment, because it was only the two of them doing the reviews. It repeatedly came up that certain things, certain things came up apparently repeatedly in the reviews, where Michał or Piotr expected people to actually know these things, maybe from the docs. People didn't look in the right places, or people didn't know in general. And the idea, I was wondering if there's actually something valuable in there, if we would start collecting those instances when in product intelligence reviews, someone there's some kind of issue that we would have expected to be understood by people. So the idea from my side would be to create an issue for collecting product intelligence reviews where we thought something should have been clear, but out of some reason wasn't. so that we can start categorizing these events. I think, Niko, you're probably the person who has the most experience with those product intelligence reviews, or the only one with experience, those being present right now. So what do you think? Do you think it makes sense to maybe collect kind of all these instances where we thought something should have been clear, but apparently wasn't, so that we can figure out if there's things that are happening repeatedly, where we, I don't know, maybe need to change documentation, need to change our approach, need to be more vocal about things, instead of having them isolated across all different reviews to being done by different people?
Well, I think it definitely works to stop the process. Maybe although it works not to wait, kind of, and not to collect, but open an issue immediately and just keep it. You know, like we would usually do, and to discuss it, to keep like an issue tracker as a source of truth, as a source of kind of ongoing work. Because what I mean is that when I'm working and I just face some issue, for example, I don't know, something happening, something that misunderstood by myself, not understood by myself. I first I think I check again documentation, and then I check issue, kind of try to see is anybody else faced, right? I mean, I can ask I can ask in Slack, and I can think personally in Slack. I can ask in the channel, but it takes time, you know. But if there is an issue, I can just check what did anybody face it? Did some action been taken already? Maybe it could be a close issue even, and then kind of start working with it immediately instead of just keep a lot of like a blocking, small blocking ideas. No, you know what I mean?
I'm not 100% sure. So my idea would have been, so what I want to make sure is that we don't, I don't know, duplicate issues, or we just have one place. The idea would have been that there's one place. I mean, it can be an issue, it could also be an epic or something, where it's clear that if anyone doing a review encounters something, like you're doing a product intelligence review, for example, on some code by the XYZ team, and an example would be they forgot again about adding a Redis event to known events, which should be clear from the documentation that you need to do this, but apparently it wasn't clear enough to the person that was doing this. In an instance that this happens, I thought it might maybe make sense to kind of collect this somewhere in an issue or something, where we kind of just post a comment, okay, this happened, someone forgot to add known events. And from my point of view, the benefit there would be that it's really easy for the reviewer to just post it there. And for example, I can go through asynchronously and try to categorize all the problems that have arisen, all the times that someone didn't read the right thing in the documentation, didn't get grok that known events was needed, or something else they just didn't understand correctly, so that I mean, the idea would be to lessen the load of product intelligence reviews. I mean, ideally speaking, every product intelligence review would just be kind of reading through something and saying, okay, this fits from product intelligence standpoint, and like, okay, move it on. But apparently that's not the case.
The thing is with a big accumulating issue is that it's kind of not iterative. It's not a small amount of work, or like you know, when idea is to iterate kind of in a small chunks very quickly. And if, for example, what I've done, just a small example from the last year, quite often people create a feature flag, right, and forget to fill up the field introduced by. And I faced it a few times, and to fix it, I quickly created a small merge request to automatically add it up by Danger bot. It took me maybe half an hour just to make it and just to put it in our review, and everybody reviewed and said, "Oh, that's cool. Actually, that's a good thing." And then next time I had the time, I finalized it, rather all the tests and everything, and then now it is working. And it's kind of small, manageable chunk of work. And now we can iterate on top of it, right? We can add. closed by or fixed by or anything else in the future. Depends on tag, for example, on issue. And we don't need to kind of keep different things in mind. It's not like many tasks which we need to have in our bookmarks and kind of switch between them and try to find them. It's kind of small and reactive work and very iterative, very small and manageable. If somebody forgot to add it to known events, instead of going and finding that issue and pushing it, and there will be a wall of other problems for other people, I would easily check if it's in documentation. I found, for example, it's not done this point. Is it in our documentation? Yes. Maybe person didn't read the documentation. Maybe we need to add danger ping, when they ask, like, please ask for product intelligence review. Maybe we need to give an extra link here and make sure you checked our requirements. And if it's not happening, I mean, this could be a first step iteration. Then in the next few months, if I see that it's happening again or somebody else see, they can add it to danger to check it, right? Okay, new issue, just kind of some heuristic in the actual code, I mean, that's a way I found in GitLab. It works very productive when it's kind of very kind of like proactive. We can try both approaches, but just what I've seen, it works the best. Otherwise everybody is busy, forget to add it to document, and the issue becoming stale or too big to manage, or we need to sit and talk about it and find time and something like that. Both approaches could be tried and just see. I mean, this is actually another step, right? What exactly what you offer? We see what works best.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would agree that if this is like, if it's clear that there's an easy fix or like or something that we're trying, then I guess that should always be prepared, like you said, kind of to work iteratively and okay, let's try to fix this in some easy way. I'm just wondering if there always is an easy way.
If there is no, for example, if I don't see easy way, I could just create an issue and just post link to discuss it, or I can just ping you, for example, and Sam and say this is quite taking my time, and then let's see if we can brainstorm or something like that. I mean, there's always some collaboration can happen here.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that. But I mean, just again, what I see in GitLab works the best is a small, very small, teeny tiny parts of work. And they're much easier to crack than taking a big issue and slowly kind of process it with many people involved.
Sebastian, is it also like is it because you're worried that it will be hard to keep track of what is already reported as something, like if we don't have this kind of root issue linking up the other issues? Or
I'm more worried about the fact that maybe like I'm not deep enough, I think, in the product intelligence reviews currently. So I've only checked kind of a few of them. So I'm not too deep into them. Let's say it like that. I just hear that it's taking a lot of time. And so what I'm worried about is that there might be things like Niko said, where it's an easy fix, but other things where it's not as clear, or where people might not even be aware of that it's a recurring problem, because Piotr is encountering over it here, Michał is encountering it over there, Niko is encountering over here. Like these reviews are being done independently by people. So one person over here, another person over there, another person over there. So what I'm more worried about is that there's things that are just not important enough in the eyes of the single reviewer, but overall would maybe save us a lot of time if it would be clear, okay, this is actually reoccurring across all the reviews, because it's something that is reappearing. Because Niko, Piotr, Mikolai, everyone just sees kind of part of the story. I definitely don't want to over-engineer it. So if there's a feeling that this is already taken care of, then
a suggestion could be to create an issue and invite people to add the most recent encounters they had with reviews where they thought it should be documented up, where people should know about it. Because they were kind of, if people would add, Piotr and Michael would add some like maybe the, I don't know, 3-5 latest issues they bumped into, or kind of, maybe there would be a pattern and something we could fix without it being like, there would be kind of a recency filter on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the idea. Either just add the most recent ones and then going forward, just if you encounter something, quickly drop it in there.
But I think it could also, the idea could also be that let's do it now, drop in what you have, and that's kind of, then we close off the issue and kind of analyze it and say, okay, this is a chunk of work. We pick the most, kind of turn it into an issue of the most important, of like 2 or 3 things to fix in documentation or wherever. And then it's a slight improvement, hopefully, for future reviews.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that input. I think so. Niko and Jonas, I already got a lot out of the discussion, and I definitely what Niko just said. I think we should encourage going forward, kind of this quickly. Let's just fix. I think the worst thing that could happen is that if we create some kind of process around it or something, that people stop fixing things in the moment because they think, okay, no, there's this big process. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to think about it a bit more. Definitely, if you encounter things going forward, feel free to fix them already or create an issue for it if you feel like this should be fixed in the long run. Whereas I'm still going to continue thinking, and feel free also maybe go towards Niko. Even if you're not, or anyone doing those kinds of reviews, if you're not sure if this is an issue or not or something, feel free to always also forward me those instances when you see kind of, okay, there's something unclear here, or there's something that I'm seeing repeatedly, because I would just also be interested in seeing this and understanding a bit more of, okay, what are the problems that our users, in this case, which are the developers to an extent, are encountering. All right. Thanks. I think we're already over time now. Does anyone have other questions still? Nope. Then thanks everyone for spending the time. Have a good evening or a good morning or a good afternoon, I guess. And see you around, everyone.
Thanks, folks. Bye.
Bye.